Welcome to a discussion of the Industrial Air Emitters database for the U.S. And this is a very extensive database that covers some 30,000 plants in the U.S. that have air emissions and are potential purchasers of air pollution control equipment, but of course a number of other products as well. And one of the categories we have is cement plants, and you can go in and search those plants alphabetically by facility. And in terms of the cement plants, there are 140 cement plants in the U.S. And if you click on a particular plant here, you get contacts and phone numbers and so forth. And you also get information on how they're meeting the present or planning to meet the presently passed cement air toxic rules. And you can even find out, for instance, what kind of continuous emissions monitors they have. They bought them from Environmental US, and the monitors that they have and now cover the following pollutants, but they're going to have to add, HCl and mercury, which they don't have as yet. So the information, though, also includes in many cases, the full Title V permit, and this has taken a lot of work by the McIlvaine Company to go through these Title V permits for the plants, but it really pays off. Let me just give you the level of detail that a lot of these permits get into. It, of course, gets into all the different operating equipment processes, kilns and coolers and all these other things. But just look at the details that you get into in terms of the air pollution control equipment. It's got bag fabric type is PTFE membranes and the number of bags and the temperatures and flow rates and so forth. So you can see that a plant like this has a large number of fabric filters, and this data is all spelled out in the permit. So it's worth the time to go in and link these permits to the facilities, which we have done, certainly not in every case, but in a number of cases to make it quite valuable. So I think you get some idea of how valuable some of this information is. And we'll get out of that now, and in fact, we'll get out of the whole cement database, and basically what it's called U.S. Industrial Air Emitters, and let's just go into the main database here. And it also has the air toxic emitters in it. And again, you can go in by facility name, location, industry, SIC. For instance, on the SIC, you can go in by food or any other kind of SIC code, stone, metals, etc. You can go in by location, chemicals, facility names, and so forth here. So these are all different ways to enter the database. And the kind of information that is there, just click on the A.O. Smith Company, and it does have some contact information, and it does get into all the different emissions that particular plant has. So that there's thousands of those sources that are included in the database. Another valuable source is industrial boilers, and you can go in, for instance, by equipment type. And we have just posted a lot of this information. It's quite recent, and you can see here, for instance, we were talking about fabric filters. Let's go in. There's 399 fabric filters installed here. And so it's possible to go into a particular plant like Abbott Laboratories here, and you see that the fabric filters, two of them were installed in 2007. They have a number of other boilers as well. There will be certain things they're going to have to do, SEMS and so forth, for the rule, and it does have contact names. He's the air manager and what his phone and number is, and of course it does have the SIC code and things. So, there's many thousands of these industrial boilers, and it's, I think, illuminating to see the types of equipment that's already installed there. Let's take a look, for instance, even at selective catalytic reduction. There's 152 units that already have SCR systems installed. So the Air Products Baytown, for instance, here, and it installed SCR in 2005. And of course, not under the toxics rules, but under the state ambient air quality rules, there'll be a number of other plants that will have to, industrial plants that will be installing NOx control equipment. So I think this gives you a brief overview of the very comprehensive information which is included in the U.S. industrial boilers portion of it. We also have a number of other things in there. We have solid waste incinerators, and we have NOx control, an older database on NOx control, but it's quite interesting because it has a number of the compressors and things that are installed in 26 different states. And then we also have a very old database that's in there that has every stack within the facilities. It's similar to what I was showing you before on that Title V permit, but it has it for every installation in the United States. However, it's quite old. It's 2 decades old. But for the refineries and some of these big chemical plants, it's still that historical information is still very good because it's mostly the same processes in a lot of these old plants that have not been retired, particularly refineries. So that's useful as well. But this is a very comprehensive database with, again, some 30,000 plants covered one way or another. Now, we do have an end-user directory, which has even more contact information and more facilities, and that can complement this. We have another database on facilities with water discharges, which is a different perspective, but many of the same companies would be there. And, of course, those that are operating the industrial boilers all have cooling, mostly have cooling towers or certainly have steam, and therefore there are water, chemicals, and things that are being used. But thanks for taking a few minutes to view what's in the U.S. Industrial Emitter database. Thank you.